Talk to him.
Classic codes, I ain't taking it slow. Forgive me, Lord, I woke up in that mode. Whether the winters were left in the cold. Question of the day. Here we go. Question of the day. Are active fathers establishing false expectations for women? So are the men that are in the girls' lives raising them to have false expectations is how I'm seeing this question. Interesting. I have been known to say sometimes females with dads be worse than the females without dads. I have been known to say that because you do have some women who had their fathers that got like a superhero complex. Like, you know, my dad was the ultimate man of all men that you could ever be in the history of all men that ever existed among all men. And so, like, the only person above my dad is like Jesus Christ. So, like, if I don't meet a man that's, you know, like my dad, then, you know, it's just like, I don't really know, you know, shit like that. Like, you hear women say some wild shit that have their fathers and have good relationships with them. You see them say some wild things sometimes from time to time. And that's not always the case, right? If you ask me, would I rather deal with a woman who has known her father or a woman who has not? If you just ask me that without giving me any additional information about said options, I mean, my instincts would tell me to go toward the woman who had her father in her life. But I've seen that shit work backwards. Correct me if I'm wrong. Podcast says, why Shorty ain't lead a party after the first room with the kids in it? Right. How he see? That's what I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm saying, bro. If he went and saw the kids in the first room, how did he know there was room after room after room? So after the first room, you felt like maybe if I keep walking, things will get better. Maybe if I keep walking, things will get better. Hey, nasty work. Despicable work, boy. Great point, dog. But question of the day, correct me if I'm wrong, podcast. Talk to me about that. Are the active fathers establishing false expectations for their daughters? Like in the dating world, for women in the dating world? Like are the women that's coming up with the super dads? You know, are they just as bad? Are they just as bad as the women who are coming up without a relationship with their father? That's the question. And these questions, when I ask these questions for the people who get triggered, because on TikTok they go crazy just because you have a question. They'll say, why'd you ask? You know what I mean? But these questions are just for all of us, really. It's to strike a conversation, really. Let's talk about it. I know we all got experiences. I've dated women who had strong relationships with their dads, and I had relationships with their dads when I was with those women. And then I had, you know, I've dated women who didn't really have a relationship with their dads. So that's what I'm saying. Like if somebody asks me, oh, correct me if I'm wrong, said, I know for a fact I am. That's why I remind her she not gonna find another me. Damn. So you feel like the principles that you instilling into your daughters, you feel like they're giving her like a false sense of reality in regards to like what she'll probably have to pick from out in the real world. And then if that's the case, how come? Like, wouldn't you want her to grow up to have, you know, love and happiness like you and your wife have, bro? Talk to me, dog. But yeah, I think I've seen examples of it, but I'm gonna just say I'd rather, you know, everything flow in natural order if possible. You know, everything isn't gonna always be ideal. That's life. So to expect things to be ideal all the time, that's unrealistic in and of itself. But I would just say if you had to ask me to choose, I would definitely, you know, without any additional context to an option of women, if they just said, hey, you could pick woman A who had a strong relationship with her dad, had him in her life, you know, the whole time, or woman B, you know, her pops was like a Rolling Stone, like in and out and shit like that. Probably by default, I'm going to lean towards A, but just due to my own personal experiences, because I've actually met women with fathers who keep themselves single because they damn near, it's like a weird thing. Like they damn near like measure men to their dad. And like, I don't know, it's weird. Correct me if I'm wrong, podcast says a well-rounded man with all the things. That's what you telling her to look for? A well-rounded man with all the things? What are all the things? What are all the things? That's a little too broad of a term for me. I don't know what that means. Oh, so you're teaching her to look for a well-rounded man with all the things. Okay. That's what's up. I mean, I guess that's fair, right? But I mean, honestly, you know, God not gonna give me no daughters. I don't have those problems. I don't have to worry about that. But I mean, if I have a niece, and I just tell her when she starts dating, and she's not right now, but when she gets to that point, I just tell her measure a man's character above all else, his character and his habits. If he's a hardworking person and he's, you know, enthusiastic and has energy, you know, for grinding and like building himself up, even if he ain't where he gonna be, you can measure his trajectory. You know what I mean? So I would give her that type of advice and just tell her to make sound decisions, you know, make decisions based on the results that you want and not, you know, whatever these little temporary fleeting emotions are. That's what I would tell, you know, my niece, but she's not at that stage where she dating yet. But God not going to give me no daughters. So I don't really have to worry about giving a young woman advice. But for the men that are raising daughters, though, I definitely think that, I mean, it's natural for us to warn them about the worst of us, right? What that looks like and what you don't want them to end up falling into. And then from there, I think it's important to put just as much emphasis on how to spot somebody decent and reasonable. You know what I'm saying? So info purposes only says your first child going to be a daughter. Bet. Please don't manifest that over my life. I rebuke that in the name of everybody that's higher than us. Yeah, please do not. Not interested. But healthy is what I'll take over everything, you know, just so the universe knows. But yeah, I've never spoken of having a daughter ever in my life, not even really hypothetically. So I don't see that happening. But I do have a niece, a beautiful niece. So that's as experienced as being a father as I want to be. I got goddaughters, but biological daughters I will not create. Correct me if I'm wrong, podcast says the things, all the measurements we as men agree in general make a man. Working can elaborate much more than that. No, I understand totally. I appreciate you tapping in and chiming in the chat amidst the fact that you have metrics to maintain, brother. I know that what month is it? Y'all should be having some mid-year reviews coming up. I understand. Stay on top of it, man. Get that raise, dog. I know the corporate life. But yeah, man. I don't know. I think that fathers are more beneficial than not. That's the direction I'm gonna lean on this one in regards to the question of the day. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments and in the chat, and we can continue to hash this out on the rewatch for sure.
Classic codes, I ain't taking it slow. Forgive me, Lord, I woke up in that mode. Weathered the winters when left in the cold. Harden my heart and that heart in the flow. They don't know